So today we're going to be learning how to draw and paint Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. You're going to need a sheet of watercolor paper, some watercolor paints, watercolor markers, a black Sharpie marker, a paintbrush, and a dish of water. To start with, we're going to just be using our Sharpie marker. So we're going to move everything else off to the side. So the first thing you want to do is you want to find the center of your paper. And once you find the center of your paper, you're going to take your Sharpie marker, go a little ways over from your finger, and you are going to make your first eye. So there's my center. I'm over to the right, and then I want to go over to the other side of my center, and I'm going to put in my other eye. Now, once I have those drawn, I'm going to go ahead and over the top put a rainbow and a rainbow. Then I'm going to come underneath and I'm going to put a smile and a smile. And now I want the eyes to touch the top and the bottom. So if it's not quite touching the top and the bottom, go ahead and make your center circles a little bit bigger. And there's going to be a little bit of white in each corner. And next we're going to go ahead and add on eyelids. So we're just going to add on another little rainbow over the top. And just up above these, we're going to go ahead and put in some eyebrows. So we can take and we're going to make kind of like little rainbows over the top of them. And then we want to take and make them a little bit thicker. And then you can color them in. So we have our eyes with our eyebrows. Now we're ready to draw our head. So we're going to come out to the corner of our eyes and put a dot. And you're going to come out to the corner of this eye and put a dot. And now we're going to be drawing a big U, okay? And this is going to be the bottom of our head. And then we're going to draw a big rainbow. And that's going to be the top of our head. The next thing we're going to put in is going to be our nose. So we want to find the space between our chin and our eyes. We want to find the middle, okay? So you've got your eyes and your chin, and we want to find the middle. So once you find the middle, you're going to take and you're going to put in like a little dish. And then on each side of it, you're going to put a curved line. And that will give us our nose. Now we're going to go ahead and we want to find the middle between our nose and our chin. And once we find that middle, we're going to put a big smile. A big wide smile. And we're going to turn this smile into lips. So we're going to go up above this smile a little bit and put in a curved line. And then we're going to join that curved line over to this side and this side to that side, and that will give us our top lip. And then underneath it we're going to add another smile, and so now we have some lips. Now Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. had a mustache, so we've got to put a mustache in here. So we're going to make another little curved line, and then we're going to drop a line down and a line down, and from there we're going to thicken it. And that is going to give us our mustache. So take and put in a mustache. Now we are ready to put in some ears. So remember that first dot we made on the side of our eyes? We're going to take and make a little mark there and another little mark there. And that's where our ears are going to start. And they're going to come out, they're going to go in, and then back in again. So we go out, we go in, out, and back in again. And that will give us some ears. We're ready to put in our hair. Now we want to go to the top of our head and we want to drop down a little ways. And then after we drop down, we're going to put in a curved line, almost like the smile line that we did. And then we're going to go to the top of that ears, that same place, and we're going to draw a line that's going up, just part way, and a line that's going up. Now we've got to join these, but we want to join them in a baby rainbow, in a baby curved rainbow. So going up a little bit. And now we've got our hair. And if you want to fill it in with your Sharpie marker, you can. And Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. had curly hair. And now we are ready to put in our neck. Now when we go to put in our neck, we don't want it to be too skinny. So you can kind of like if you went to the outside of your eye and you dropped down, that's going to be about where you want your neckline. So the outside of your eye, drop down and make a little mark. Now we have room for a neck and some shoulders, so I'm going to come down a little ways and then I'm going to go over to the side. I'm going to come down and go over to the side. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to put a suit on Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. He had to go to a lot of important meetings and he often wore a suit and a tie. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make just a little bit of a smile under here. And that's actually going to be part of his skin. And underneath that we're going to draw his shirt. But first we're going to draw the corner of our jacket. So we're going to drop down to this edge here and cut in. Come right to where the neck meets the shoulder and cut in. Now find the middle of that smile and we're going to take and draw a line coming over and a line coming over, kind of like the top of a triangle. Now underneath our triangle we're going to make another smile. And find the center of that, make a dot, and draw a line down and a line down. And now we have his shirt with a collar, a tie, and his shoulders, his jacket. Now for our background, you could just paint it plain, but I'm going to show you how to add in a couple of different things. So Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. had a very famous speech that he started with, "I have a dream." So I'm going to write that up at the very top, up above his head. I'm going to write, "I have a dream." And I'm going to put a couple dots afterwards. So I have a dream. And then I'm going to take and draw a line up and a line up. And now I'm going to break up this a little bit as well. I'm going to take and draw another line going up. And then maybe one angled down too, but you can put them in however you want. Now at this point you can paint, or you could put in different words for the things that Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. dreamed about. So one of the things he dreamed about is for people to be kind to one another. And you can decide what kinds of things Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Meant to you, and you can put a different word in each spot. And I'm going to do the same thing as well. Now once you finish putting in your words, then you're going to go ahead and you're going to paint. So I'm going to get my watercolor paints out and my water. Now I'm going to dip into my water and then I'm going to dip into my brown paint to activate it. And now I'm ready to start to paint. Now, as you go to paint Dr. Martin Luther King, the place where you want to be really careful is going in and around his eyes. And you can paint his eyelid brown, but we want to leave the other part of his eye white. You can go over his hair, you can go over his eyebrows. And if it gets to be so thick that you can't see them, just take and add in a little bit of water, and then you move the paint around a little bit more. But he did have very nice dark brown skin. You can also paint right over the top of his lips. And I'll show you what to do with those more in just a little bit. Now once I get his face painted, then I'm going to clean my brush, dip into my water, and then I'm going to move into my red paint. I'm going to activate it. I'm going to get a little bit of red paint on here, and then I'm going to go in and mix the brown that's on his lips with the red, and that will give him a very nice mouth color. And now I'm ready to paint the rest, but I'm actually going to do the rest with... Now I'm ready to paint the rest, and I'm going to do the rest though with markers. So first we're going to go ahead and we're going to paint his jacket. So you can choose any color you want. I'm going to choose blue, and when I go to do it, I'm just going to go ahead and take color in around the edge. I don't have to color the whole thing. And then I'm going to choose what color I want his tie. You can choose any color you want. And I'm going to paint in around the edge with my markers. And I don't want the line to be too skinny. It needs to be a little bit fat. And then you can paint your shirt color any color you want. I think I'm going to leave mine white. And now I'm going to go ahead and take water into these parts. And so I dip into my water. And do you see how the water activates the marker and turns it into paint? And then I clean my brush out again, and if I have a different color in my tie, then I go into my tie. I clean my brush, and if I have a different color for my shirt, I go into my shirt. And now I'm ready to go ahead and take color up into these areas. So you can choose whatever colors you want, but once again, you want to make it thick, but you're going to go just along the edges. And you can choose any colors you want at all, and you can have them be a rainbow, or you could do stripes, anything you want. Now before I take water in, I have some very light colors, like yellow is a very light color, and I have a lot of brown in my water, so I'm going to go clean my water before I start. And now I'm going to go ahead with clean water. I'm going to start with my lightest color. So if I have yellow, I'm going to start with yellow, and then oranges, reds, and then into your purples, blues, and greens. You're going to do all of one color, and then you'll go into the next color. Now if I want to at the end, when it's completely dry, if I wanted to take some black into Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s hair, I could. But you want to make sure it's dry so that it doesn't run off into your other colors. So if it is still wet out here, I would wait to do this. So when it's completely dry, if you are wanting some things to be a little bit darker, you can, or you could just leave it. And there you have your Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Thanks for joining me today. Bye-bye.